All right, you're still with us. Challenge 3 here, trying to get those 3 tasks, the turning ball, the destructing man, and the left and right key disabling, done with counters. I'm going to do the first 2 first. I'll do the ball. So here goes the ball. Using a counter, so probably I'll go into create here. And the idea is I'm just going to keep track. I won't be too creative. I'll just call it counter. Okay, start off at 0. And since we're not using the built-in alarms, you do it yourself in the step event. So we go to step, step, and every single step we're going to make that counter count up. So counter is counter plus 1. Then I'm going to ask a little question. I know my target is 15 steps. So if the counter is hit 15, then I'm going to make the direction of the ball change. And put the counter back to 0 so this whole process can repeat again. This should work, no problem. I'm confident that you probably got that one. And there they go. Okay, doing their cool turning paths. Nice. Now I'm going to actually jump ahead. I'm going to do the left and right keyboard disabling because it's similar to what we just did there. Let's go to Object Man. Now we have to do keyboard left. A little bit of repeating code here from before. Keyboard left. Speed is 1. Direction is 180. And keyboard right. Speed is 1. Direction is 0. Now to do this one on a stepper, basically I just want to check, has the player waited long enough before pressing the keys. So I'm going to give the man a new variable in create. I'll call this one move counter, and I'll start it at 0. I'll make move counter count up in the step event. Move counter is move counter plus 1. I'm not going to ask any if questions here. Okay, I really don't care. I just want this counter to count up. Okay, so it'll get to 30, 40, 50, 60, you know, it's going to go higher and higher. What I care about is when they press the keys. When they press the left key, what I want to see happen here is I need to ask again a question first. So I did the similar with the alarm, but this one I want to know about the counter. If the move counter has gone over 90, that's our 3 seconds, right, to get up to 90. I mean, if you want to be exact, you could say equals. Then move, direction, and put the move counter back to 0. And so by putting it back to 0, they're going to have to wait for it to count all the way back up to 90 again before a key's going to work. I'm going to do the similar thing inside the right key. If the move counter is greater or equal to 90, spaz typing here, and move counter goes back to 0. That's it. Sort of your homemade alarm. Let's give this one a test. So I'll move to the right. Okay, that was my left, but you know what I mean. I'm moving to the right, now I'm trying to move left, trying to move right, and it appears that it's working pretty good. That's not bad. If you actually want to see a visual of this working, you could go to the draw event, and we could change, instead of that, we could just draw the move counter out. You can actually see it working inside the game. Even though you probably know in your head, it's always nice to see sort of the right thing there. There's the man move, can't move, hits 90. Perfect. Now I don't have to hit a key here. I can just let it add up. When I eventually hit a key, yeah, it's more 90. Back down to 0 it goes. Yep. So not bad. All right, trying to make the man destruct. This is a little bit of a trickier one to do with the counters. Let's go to the man. I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it here. Here's way number 1. It's okay to do something like a little destruct counter. But here's the problem. If I set this here inside the create method, destruct counter 0, if I say when you hit 90 blow up, that's just going to happen automatically. And so that's not too good. Now, if I know I want to do some idea like count up to 90 and destroy, then what I could do is I could do this little trick. And this is a sloppy trick, and we'll learn other ways better than this later on, but I could put the counter at 91, and I could just have my counter counting up. So 92, 93, 94, 95, and just keep going up and up and up. When they eventually hit the D key, I'll put this counter back to 0. Then it can go up from 0, and then it's going to hit the number 90, and I can destroy. So I'll just do this one first. It's a possible little creative solution you might have done yourself. So I start the counter at 91. In the step method, I'll just add a line here. Destruct counter. That's a tough one to type. Destruct counter plus 1. And if the destruct counter hits 90, instance destroy. Okay. Now if I test this out, remember that we started the counter at 91. So the very first time it changes, it'll be 92. It's never going to hit 90. What I need now is I need a way for that counter to get back to 0. And of course, we are going to put that inside of the D key. So when I hit the D key now, add event, key press, letter D, I can set the destruct. That word's giving me trouble. Destruct counter equals 0. Now it's going to be free to move up, and it will hit 90, and it will trigger the destruction. And that's it. Give that a little test. So technically the counter's counting now. I hit D. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Man disappeared. So remember what the sort of logic there was don't let it get to 90. So I started my counter above 90. Now that was a bit of a sloppy way. Another way you can do this, if I maybe want to code this in the, I'll do it in the F key. So I'll add another event here. Key press, letter F. Is pretend this is a whole new solution here. I'll call it destructing. Destructing is 1. Or sorry, destructing is 0. Destructing 0 is going to mean I am not destructing. Okay? If destructing is set to 1, when I press the F key, it means I am in the process of destructing. And I can end up keying it like this. When I hit the F key, I turn basically to remember I am currently destructing. Now what's the purpose of remembering whether I'm destructing or not? If I am destructing, I'm going to do some code like this. Destruct counter equals destruct. Whoops, I didn't do my if statement. If destructing is 1. So if I'm in a process of destructing, then destruct counter equals destruct counter minus 1. Then I can ask a quick question. If destruct counter equals 0, I destroy myself. So I have my little if statement inside my if statement there. Maybe this makes it look a little easier for you. Now for this to work, you do have to sort of take this out here. I don't want that messing around or this messing around. Those are comments, by the way. These don't count as code anymore. They're just notes inside the file. So basically, that counter started at 91. If my destructing variable has turned to 1, then I'm allowed to tick that away and count it down. If it hits 0, destroy. Let's see if this one works. And I hit F to turn my destructing variable on. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Always nice when it works on the first attempt. Anyways, there's two different ways to do it. It's a nice reminder that there's never just one way. You could probably find a couple more ways to code that logic in. That's decent for a beginner way to do something like that. Thanks for watching. Pat yourself on the back if you figured out that destructing on your own. That was a tricky one for beginners. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.